I was just reading 1 John 3, 1-3, and it says in a portion of it that it hasn't appeared yet what we will be. And I think for so many women, that's a scary thing, not knowing what the future is going to look like, especially when you are in a time of transition, and it can be starting or ending a relationship or a job, or moving to someplace new, or a season of your life changing. Maybe you just had a baby, maybe you just started a business, maybe all your children have moved out of the house, and now you're like, okay, what is my life gonna look like? Because there are points in our lives where we are needed in a certain way, right? And it's easy to show up in the way that you've always been needed. But when you're no longer needed in that way, or no longer wanted in that way, it can be a difficult thing to face. And one of the things that I really heavily emphasize in terms of my efforts and the way that I approach conversations with women is that I want them to get to a place where not knowing what you're gonna be is actually exciting. Not knowing what's gonna happen next is actually an exciting thing, and you start to lean into your new season with curiosity and an expectation and an openness that causes you to thrive in the evolution and thrive in the discovery of who you are and what you're capable of in this new thing that is happening. And even as I am closing out one chapter and walking into another, I'm going to be 50 next year, and I remember there was a point in my life where I was like, I have no idea what I want when I'm 50. I have no idea what type of life I want to be living when I'm 50. And as I am walking through the reevaluation of who I am and walking through the vision that I have for the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, because my vision is expanding to that size. It is, first of all, I'm grateful that I even have this perspective, because it's a perspective that I didn't have before. I was just taking life as it came and trying to stay sane in the process. I really was. I wasn't hoping. I wasn't dreaming. And I don't know if any of you know my testimony, but when you get up every day and there's, let's say, 28 days, your cycle is 28 days, but I'm talking about the menstrual cycle, and you're bleeding for like half that time, if not more, every single month for year after year after year after year. I came to expect a certain level of suffering in my life, and that spilled into so many different areas. So I would get up every single day and I would just make the most of it. You know, I would just try to be happy. I would just try to encourage somebody else along the way, because life wasn't giving me what I wanted. So therefore, because I couldn't experience the fullness of the life that I wanted because of what was happening in my body, I decided to make it my business to help everyone else experience fullness and happiness and reach their potential and do all the amazing things that they wanted to do, because I didn't think it was possible for me. And I believe so many women on so many different levels are doing the same thing. They're doing the same thing. And I want to make it my business now that I am on the other side of that I am almost 3 years healed. And I'll get into that in another video. But in 2021, when I was creating my vision for 2021, the very first thing, I believe, the very first thing that I wrote on my vision board was complete healing. And when I said complete healing, what I meant was I wanted my cycle restored to what it was supposed to be. But God knew best, and He knew what I had been through in the last decade. So when I turned 46 in 2021, that's when I had my last period. I haven't had a period since. I had 2 bouts of what felt like it was coming back. And I did the craziest thing both times. I got up from where I was sitting and I looked in the mirror and I said, "You are healed." And it never came back, and it won't. Because the healing that I didn't know I was asking for was emotional, it was mental, it was spiritual. I didn't just need healing in my body, I needed healing in my soul. And when my soul began to heal, I started to dream again. And this is what I want to impart to every woman. When I talk about those daily appointments, having that appointment with God, that appointment with yourself, and then having appointments with others, those first 2 appointments are so you can heal, so that you're not bleeding on everyone else, so that your disappointment or your shame or your pain around the areas that you don't feel good enough in, that you don't feel you have enough in, that is not going to spill over onto other people, that you're not going to be sacrificing yourself over and over and over again to win the approval and the applause, right? Because you don't feel like you are enough, or you don't feel like you can have enough. I see it all the time. And the sad thing is that we don't realize that we're doing it. We think we're being good women. But a good woman is a strong woman. A good woman is a whole woman. A good woman is a healed woman. I hope this helps. Blessings on your journey. I will talk to you soon.